Time magazine has an insane story out this week about a vicious crime. They say an Oklahoma woman, Juanita Gomez, 49 years old, was charged with first-degree murder on Monday. She claimed her 33-year-old daughter, Geneva Gomez, was possessed by the devil and allegedly punched her repeatedly to rid Satan from her body. Quote, Juanita stated she punched her daughter repeatedly and forced a crucifix and religious medallion down her throat until blood came out of her daughter's mouth, court documents stated, according to the Oklahoman. Juanita saw her daughter die and then placed the body in the shape of a cross. Authorities found Geneva Gomez lying on the floor with her arms extended and her legs straight. A large crucifix was also resting on her chest. Good googly moogly. Think about that. I mean, this is like straight out of a horror movie. So you have this woman who's like, I'm so convinced that my daughter's demon-possessed, or she is the devil. The devil is now in her body. I will punch her repeatedly till she's unconscious, take a crucifix, shove it down her throat until she bleeds out, put her body in the shape of a cross, and put a cross over her chest. Oh, goodness, what are we going to do, man? All right, now look, every time we speak about these different things, there's multiple different options, okay? It's possible you're dealing with just a run-of-the-mill crazy person who's just crazy and hearing voices and is paranoid schizophrenic, and she happens to be a violent paranoid schizophrenic, and this is the result. It's also possible she's just a deep, deep, deep religious believer and a fundamentalist, and she happened to actually believe this for whatever reason, that her daughter's possessed by the devil, and so she acted on it. Because it's hard for people to understand it, but it's true. There are people out there who really believe it. Like, there are people out there who actually read the Bible or the Quran, and they go, no, that's right, every word of this. Every word of this. So if you happen to believe every word of this, and you stumble across an insane verse, like, for example, in the Bible where, Abraham and Isaac, where they, okay, I'm going to now sacrifice my son to appease God. Well, that's the moral thing to do in the Bible. I gotta sacrifice my son. Hello? God wants me to do it. In this case, she's like, the devil's inside my daughter. For my daughter's sake, I have to do it. I will save my daughter by killing her. That's the reasoning. Well, there are people who take that paradigm and go, this is the paradigm that is correct about the world. And oftentimes it stems from when they're young, repeatedly having this hammered into their head. This book is true, this book is true, this book is true. Anybody who says this book isn't true is the enemy, is demon-possessed, is the devil, is this, is that. And if you actually drink the Kool-Aid there, you're in a large cult. That's what it is. Fundamentalist religion is just a large cult. Now, I'm not saying moderate Christians, moderate Muslims, moderate Buddhists, Hindus, so on and so forth. I'm not saying they're in a cult, because oftentimes people view their religion almost like a nationality, like it just is what it is. Like, okay, my Christianity was passed down to me from my parents, so I'm just a Christian, and it is what it is. Do I believe? I don't know. I guess I vaguely believe in God, but I never even read the book. I don't care about the doctrines, yada, yada. But the fundamentalists, the literalists, are they basically just in a big cult? Yeah. And what happens when you're in a big cult? Bad things. Fucking Jim Jones and drink the Kool-Aid, where the term drink the Kool-Aid comes from, like I just used before. It's because he was like, well, we got to, hello? I mean, do you want to save your kids? Do you want to get salvation? I mean, we're under attack from everybody outside of us. We got to drink the Kool-Aid and all die together. It is what it is. And how many of those people ended up drinking the Kool-Aid and dying? Because it was a large cult. Well, that's exactly what's happening here. When you fucking stab your daughter with a crucifix in her throat until she chokes on her own blood, I tend to think maybe your ideas are fucked up. Call me crazy. So this is why spreading liberalism and spreading secularism is so important, and convincing people in the realm of ideas, and just letting people know, look, you hold some things like there are taboo things to talk about. Don't talk about that. Don't talk about religion. Don't talk about politics. Those should be talked about more than anything else. Because how are you going to foster a society that has, wholesome, empathetic beliefs about individual rights and human rights, so on and so forth, unless those are the ideas at the forefront of the community? When you have people who are literalists and fundamentalists and, they snap, sometimes this is the result. So it's a horrific situation, and needless to say, I hope she spends a long time in jail.